So a couple of days ago, I was sitting here playing Helldivers on probably I bet it was medium difficulty. I can't for sure tell you which one. Um, but I was playing it with my girlfriend, and we were, just messing around, enjoying the game, doing some sample hunting, trying to get as many rare samples as we could, because we're not at the point where we can get super samples yet. And while we were just messing around playing the game, I happened to look over at her screen and realize that she had found out a few things I myself didn't even know was in the game. So I wanted to share a couple of these tips in case anyone else happened to not know they were in the game or vice versa. Or not vice versa. What the fuck am I saying? Anyway, so basically, as it kind of went, we were collecting the samples, and you know how tedious this game can get, where you're collecting all these samples, you have a majority of the rares, all of a sudden you die or just get clustered, and you die, and when they have to bring you back in, you realize that you guys had split up at some point. Your samples are now clear on the other side of the map, and you have to run all the way back there to go and get them. Running through pretty much hell in these later difficulties to try and collect a sample vial. So, I don't know about you, but that has caused me sometimes to just be like, screw it. Let's just get out of here with what we got. And sometimes that could be that I'm literally leaving behind 3, 4, 5 rare samples or something like that. I mean, you can have upwards to 20 in a match, so imagine having to leave 15 of them because you collected 15 rare samples and just how tedious that can be. I can only imagine how this gets once you start getting into the super samples. So I was a little surprised when I found out this, or looked over and I found out that my girlfriend had actually found out that if you hold down on your D-pad, you can open up a menu that allows you to drop things. Things like if you have a jump pack or an ammo pack on, you can drop the pack and someone else can carry it. Things like dropping your heavy or your stratagem weapons, like the heavy machine gun or the things that need dual loading or weapons like that. And you can even, I think you can drop some ammo. I'm not sure. I can't remember what the third one is, but the fourth one on the list is that you can drop your sample container, which once I discovered this, it completely redid the entire way that I've gone about collecting samples. There have been 2 ways that I've switched in playing this game. One of them is when I am playing with someone or playing the game in a way to where I can strategize with people and not so much with randos. So basically, let's go back to when I started playing this with my girlfriend a lot. I started playing it in a way where I would have one of us drop our sample container, to which the other one would then pick it up. Now, you can sit there and probably say, like, that's kind of unnecessary. Why are you guys doing that? Well, here's kind of the reason I see out and why you should do this. So, for those that are not aware, there is no limit to the amount of samples you can have. The limit to the amount of samples is how many are in the game. Once you collect, like as it shows right there, I have 7 out of 10. Once you collect past that 7 out of 10, you then run into this thing of where it's like, okay, say I have 7, someone else has the 3. Or it's something much, much higher numbered than that. It then plays into, if I drop my container and they pick it up, we condense the samples into one container and only have to worry about one container if it is ever dropped. So if you start establishing this in a method with your friends to where they all drop their containers, you pick them up, you become the only container to worry about. Basically, what I'm saying is when you start getting on these harder difficulties, what it can then turn into is it can open up the option of your killing, or when you're extracting, it turns into protect the one guy with the sample container, and you guys can go off willy-nilly and, if it has to come to it, sacrifice yourself so that the one guy with all the samples can get onto the ship. Because yes, that extra experience for all of us leaving is very worth it. I will give you that. However, right now, the game pretty much caps out at level 25 being the highest level to unlock anything right now. So, I'm level 15. You can grind these lower levels to get the leveling done way quicker than you can doing sample runs. So a little bit of XP really is not going to hurt you. I hate to say it, but it is not going to hurt you to lose a little bit extra experience at the cost of getting 20 to 30 rare samples and 10 or 20 super samples. I don't know how many drop. Like I said, I'm not to the super sample part. That's how difficult this game can be. Is even trying to get to where you unlock super samples is a pain in the ass. Anyway, that's been my one main method of kind of playing it. The second way I see of playing it is, so this one is kind of depending on map. So say that you're clearing out the hives and all that, and you run past a few, and then like extraction is in the middle of the map or whatever. What I have done, usually this is when I'm solo playing the game, what I have done for this is I'll clear out the nests on one side, go through the extraction, taking whatever samples I have, and I will drop the samples right next to the extraction location. Why do I do this? Because instead of possibly dying out somewhere randomly in the field and having to carry all those samples back, they're now next to the safest place to be when you have to leave the game. I mean, it's not the safest once you start extraction, but at the time, it's a great place to hold your extracted samples and all that. Just sitting them right next to the thing, picking them up right before you start extracting. Now, another reason why I think that is a good idea is your sample container cannot be destroyed. At least as far as I've seen, I have shot flamethrowers at these things. I have dropped 500 kilogram bombs on these goddamn things, and they do not explode for any reason. They are invulnerable to damage. So, yeah, I full honestly think that if you want to start finding an easy way to sample grind, get a group of 4 people together and start trying to find these methods where you can drop your sample vials together and condense it into just one big vial. Because even if you're not doing it in that way to extract, you could do it in that way to where one person is holding it, so you could now charge headfirst into, basically, as I like to call it, the utter hell of a bug infestation, or the utter hell of a bot outpost. You can charge headfirst into that with very minimal consequences other than losing a life. So, yeah, that's been kind of what I wanted to share. I know it's a simple little thing. There's not really that much to it, or that much revolved around it to really say other than that. I hope this video has been helpful to anyone that didn't know this little tip. If you want to see me play this game live with much better audio and all that, I do stream this game on my main channel. I will have the link get put in the description to my main channel. This is kind of a channel I created literally just yesterday. This is where I'm going to start throwing clips that I otherwise don't see a reason to upload. It used to be my achievement channel. That's why there's a bunch of achievement clips on here. So this is just going to kind of be when I just feel like throwing something up and don't really know what to do with it. So yeah, I hope to see you guys on the main channel. I put a lot more effort into my main channel than I will on this one. That's why this is kind of a half-assed video. I'm also currently in the sake of going and trying to get a tattoo of mine finished today, so I'm in a hurry to get this posted and out the door before I have to leave, which is in about a few hours. So I will quit rambling, and I hope to see you guys all later. Yeah.